Here's your host, Claire DeTusa.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Collectible Art with Claire. I'm your host, Claire DeTusa. Very excited to be here with you on the second art show here at Rare Collectibles TV. I hope you're out there watching because, boy, do we have a special treat for you tonight. No time to waste because we have pieces that you are going to, I hope, just fall in love with. Pieces that you've probably seen throughout your lifetime. We're talking about America's painter, one of the most beloved artists in American history, an illustrator who's graced the covers of magazines, Saturday Evening Post, and Life, who you've probably seen throughout your families and throughout generations collected. One of the most beloved and collected artists out there, and that is the Mr. Norman Rockwell. Going to be the focus of our show tonight. A little bit later in the show, I'm also going to get into one of my personal favorite artists, another legend, the father of the Art Deco movement, Roman de Terhoff, otherwise known as Erte himself. Everything tonight, hand-signed and numbered pieces. A little bit about me. I've been in the art business for the past 10 years or so. You may have seen me out in here selling before over the past few years. I've been very blessed to have been brought into the art business and as a buyer and now as a seller as well. And I must say, as an art buyer, it is my honor and it is my duty to find rare, beautiful pieces that collectors just love and want to have and bring them to you at prices that everybody can afford. And you're going to see out there a lot of Norman Rockwell. There's estate signed pieces, there's stamped pieces, there's offset lithographs, which are kind of a fancy term for a poster. Not on this show. Everything that you see is a pencil signed and numbered true lithograph, a stone colored lithograph by Norman Rockwell. So really special pieces tonight, and I'm just so excited. If there's a name that is as synonymous with Americana and as American as apple pie, Norman Rockwell is it. You'll see behind me we have a piece that's sort of on loan. This is a piece that's unfortunately not for sale tonight, but it's owned by a very happy customer. I have a few more pieces that actually already sold before the show started. Yeah, look at that. Just a beautiful piece framed up. This is just to decorate our walls, owned by a happy customer. I have another one on the wall to my left that we'll show you a little bit later in the show that's actually going to be packed up and shipped out tomorrow to one of our Rare Collectibles customers. And it's just a nice reminder that if you're not already on our email blast, if you're not already registered, there it is, catching the big one. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Mr. J from Georgia. Mr. J, that piece is for you. It's going to be packed up and shipped out probably tomorrow. We move quickly. Mr. J has gotten a quick look at this through our email blast we send out in promotion of the shows. So before we go live on Wednesdays, we send out a little email to everybody who's included, who's registered with us. You get a little email letting you know what's going to be on the show and a little sneak preview. Mr. J knew that was a piece he wanted to scoop up, and he got it. So we have it on our wall just to kind of show off because it's such a great piece. But it will be shipped out and sent to Georgia probably tomorrow. We work quickly. So thank you, Mr. J. And I hope you're still watching and maybe see something else you like. So if you're not already registered with us, give us a call. That's the number at the bottom of the screen. We'll just get your name and your address and some information. That way you're in our system. You'll be able to pick up the phone quickly and call in for a little free gift we're going to do at the top of the next hour, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. And most importantly, you'll be ready if you see something that you just love tonight. That's what art is all about. If you see something that you just want to put on your wall that makes you happy, give us a call. Let's see what we could do for you. And with that, I'm going to go right into a little presentation that we have on Mr. Norman Rockwell for you tonight. When we have that ready, it's a 7-minute documentary that our amazing editors put together so you can kind of get a little glimpse into Norman Rockwell, his life, the artwork. You're going to see images that, again, you've probably seen throughout your lifetime. You'll have a bit of nostalgia, and that's what Norman Rockwell just was a true master at, just capturing that moment in time, whether you're you were from that generation that he was depicting or not, you still get a sense of nostalgic of what American life was for people at that time, and what he did as the decades moved on was just, he was a storyteller. He was America's storyteller. So take a look at this, and when we come back, you're gonna see the pieces that we've curated for you tonight on the show. But here is our Norman Rockwell documentary for your enjoyment.
Creating over 4,000 original paintings over the course of his prolific career, Norman Rockwell's name has been eternally etched in the conversation of American art. Regardless of the focus of his work, Rockwell was known for being a master of depicting the subtle emotions of everyday life through his detailed illustrations. Today, when the topic of Americana comes up, it is impossible not to include Norman Rockwell in the discussion. But how did the legacy of this iconic American artist begin? Born to Jarvis and Anne Rockwell on February 3, 1894 in New York City, Norman was a quiet boy who grew up moving from boarding house to boarding house with his family. As a child, Rockwell never viewed himself in a special light. In fact, he has said that he thought himself nothing more than a lump, a long skinny nothing, a beanpole without the beans. Growing up, Rockwell was not inclined to athletics, nor to scholarly work. In his words, all he had was the ability to draw. At age 14, Rockwell was called into the principal's office due to his poor performance in school, and his principal asked whether Rockwell wanted to graduate high school or go to art school. Shortly after that conversation, Rockwell dropped out of high school and began attending Chase Art School before attending the National Academy of Design, and finally, the Art Students League. At the Art Students League, Rockwell studied under great American illustrators and painters Thomas Fogarty and George Bridgman. The artistic principles that he learned from these men set the foundation for the rest of his art career. At the age of just 19, Rockwell became the art editor for Boys Life magazine, published by Boy Scouts of America, a connection he would hold on to for a vast majority of his life. His first piece for Boys Life was published in 1913 and was titled Scout at Ship's Wheel. In 1915, Rockwell and his family moved to New Rochelle, New York, where they shared a studio with Clyde Forsyth, an illustrator for the Saturday Evening Post. With the help of Forsyth, Rockwell submitted his first successful cover to the Saturday Evening Post. This illustration was published in 1916 and was titled Mother's Day Off. This illustration playfully depicts a young boy pushing a baby carriage while being teased by other young boys out playing baseball. In the following 7 months, the Saturday Evening Post published 5 more Rockwell covers: Circus Barker and Strongman, Gramps at the Plate, Redhead Loves Hattie Perkins, People in a Theater Balcony, and Man Playing Santa. Over the next 47 years, Rockwell created 323 covers for the Saturday Evening Post. Rockwell's success with the Saturday Evening Post led to opportunities with other renowned magazines, such as Literary Digest and Life. Although Rockwell left his job with Boys Life and Boy Scouts of America in 1916, he still maintained a great relationship with them. In 1926, he began producing the first of what would be 51 illustrations for the Boy Scouts of America calendar. In 1943, Rockwell was inspired by Franklin Delano Roosevelt's memorable State of the Union address, where FDR solemnly declared 4 universal and necessary freedoms. This iconic speech triggered Rockwell to create his world-famous 4 Freedoms series. These 4 paintings, titled Freedom of Speech, Freedom of Worship, Freedom from Want, and Freedom from Fear, were met with enormous success. Immediately after their production, these paintings became the highlight of a traveling exhibition that was sponsored by both the Saturday Evening Post and the U.S. Department of Treasury. During this exhibition tour, these paintings traveled to 16 cities where over 1 million people came to see them. This exhibition raised nearly $133 million in war bonds and stamps, aiding greatly in the World War II war effort. However, shortly after the release and success of the Four Freedoms paintings, tragedy struck Rockwell when a fire erupted which destroyed his studio, burning many of his props, costumes, and original paintings inside. Rather than acting as a setback, this tragedy actually caused Rockwell to grow as an artist. At this point, the focus of Rockwell's painting shifted, now depicting modern characters existing in modern settings and dealing with events that were taking place at the time. In the following years, Rockwell continued producing illustrations for the post with his new modern twist. This time period established Rockwell as an emotional and nostalgic painter, focusing on idealistic images of daily American life. In a sense, Rockwell became synonymous with the iconic image of the American dream. This changed in 1963 when Rockwell ended his 47-year relationship with the Saturday Evening Post and began making covers for Look magazine. At this point, Rockwell's work entered a third phase and his focus shifted once again, this time towards bigger social issues, including civil rights and poverty. His most notable work of this time and one of the most potent of his career is The Problem We All Live With, centered around Ruby Bridges and desegregation. Norman Rockwell passed away on November 8th of 1978 in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. To this day, Norman Rockwell is known as one of the greatest American illustrators and painters of all time, and his legacy continues to live on and inspire new generations of artists. Norman Rockwell's impact stretched far beyond painting and illustrating. He was not only an excellent painter and illustrator, he was a phenomenal storyteller. Using his pencil and paintbrush, Rockwell was able to tell stories like no one else. Relatable stories which spoke to people, pulled on their heartstrings, and created symphonies in their minds that played to the memories of their own lives.
Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that mini documentary that we put together for you. What a life. We can't even begin to tell the whole story in the span of 7 minutes, but we don't have a lot of time with you on the show, and we want to make sure that you see all of the artwork that we've curated for you tonight, and really such an exciting show. Everybody loves Norman Rockwell. He's just a household name, you know, America's illustrator and painter. And in the world of fine art, until not too recently, it was actually a little controversial that Norman Rockwell became really known as America's painter, being an illustrator. A lot of people in the fine art world, you know, for a long time, sort of illustration was almost looked down upon a little bit as a lesser art form than, you know, than painting and other forms of art. Nowadays, obviously, that's changed completely, and we view illustration as important as a movement as any other art movement. And really, what art is all about is storytelling, and Norman Rockwell was a master at telling a story. What he was able to do throughout the decades was really talk to us, go right into the homes of America, and just get a glimpse of American life, you know, capturing the American dream throughout the decades, starting in the 20s, bringing us laughter, you know, at times when we need it in the 30s and 40s throughout the Great Depression, moving on to some very strong social commentary in the 60s with the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, just some iconic pieces that in a one picture spoke 1,000 words and meant so much to so many people. It's no wonder that he's become one of the most collected and beloved painters in our history. And we were talking about it a little bit before we went live. Some of the pieces that we have tonight, and these are all hand-signed and numbered stone lithographs, which are just Unbelievably beautiful pieces, pencil signed by Norman Rockwell himself, had a hand in the printmaking process as well. Some of the original paintings to the editions that we have on the show tonight have sold for millions of dollars. So, you know, we have someone here who is a museum collected artist in the Metropolitan Museum of New York. There's a Norman Rockwell Museum itself in Massachusetts. I mean, this is just someone who's collected in the hearts and minds of everyone across the country. Paul, who's assisting on the show, was talking about, you know, growing up and seeing in his grandparents' home, the collector items, the plates with the images. I mean, we've all seen these iconic images throughout our life in different forms. And I just wanted to give you a quick idea of just the commanding prices that Norman Rockwell has received over the years with his paintings. And take a look at this. This is the most expensive American painting ever sold. Norman Rockwell's Saying Grace, a beautiful piece, took a record $46 million. And look at that, you look at a piece like that and there you go right there. There's a story right there. Just a story into American family life. There's just, again, they say, you know, a picture tells 1,000 words, and that's exactly what his pieces did. Every single piece has a story to tell, and everyone might see something a little bit different. And then we have another article here, 3 Rockwell classics. That one included bring a record $57.8 million. I'll show you the painting. So there's that first one you just saw. So a combined $57.8 million for 3 Norman Rockwell original paintings. Look at that one. We have a piece similar to this tonight that you're going to see a little bit later in the show with just, you know, all the faces, and then down here is the third. I don't want to start giving away what we have because I'm about to show you kind of on a revolving tape, because I want you to be able to see before we start going to the easels. You're going to see on the screen all the pieces that we have, but this is my personal favorite. We have the lithograph tonight to this piece, and I wish I could tell you that we have multiples of these. We don't. This was a very hard deal to pull together. I worked very hard to just get as many of some of my favorite and some of just the most beloved images of his, and I pulled together from various places. And everything is custom framed, but we have one of each. So when it's sold, when you call up, it's gone. So just like the Catching the Big One that's on its way to Georgia tomorrow, there was another one called Our Heritage that was up on our website, and really within a matter of just days of it being on the website, sold right away. I wish we could have it on the show, but that one is going to Mr. H in Indiana. It's called Our Heritage. So Mr. H, I hope you're watching again, and congratulations on such an excellent purchase. But here's one of my favorites, and you're going to see this in just a few moments. This is Starstruck. It's an image that I've always loved. That's the original painting. You could see down right there, estimate. It was estimated at anywhere from $800,000 to 1.2. Look at what it sold for. Price sold $2 million. It was what the original painting to Starstruck sold for. And I wish we could say we have that original, but we have the next best thing, and that's the hand-signed and numbered lithograph on the show tonight. Just the one. It's such a great piece. You've got that boy just looking at his magazines, just longing for the beautiful women that grace the magazines, and then the dog looking at the boy. It's just such a fun piece. But here's what we'll do. I'm going to continue to talk and tell you a little bit about Norman Rockwell, things you probably already know. What's most important is that you look at the art, and if you see something that you love, that you give us a call, or you get ready to call once we give you these unbelievable prices. We're going to play this loop tape now so you could see every single piece that we have in the show. I believe there's one piece a little bit later that didn't make it into the loop tape that we're going to show you. But take a look at this, and I'm going to continue to talk about Norman Rockwell as you make a selection. Here we have the first piece. This is Whitewashing the Fence. This is from a suite that he did, the Tom Sawyer suite. So we have just what a great nostalgic piece to start off with. The 2 boys painting the fence. Also from the Tom Sawyer suite, we have Dog and Beetle. Again, every single piece is custom framed, pencil signed and numbered, Norman Rockwell. We have a great little story happening right here. And here we have the medicine. Just stay online. I want to make sure you see every single piece. Then we're going to price these for you, and you're not going to believe it. I'll have some retails to show you of these exact pieces that you're looking at. And you know the name of the game here. This is what Jack and Rick, thank you, and James do on the Coin Show is, we beat those competitors' prices. We're very aggressive buyers. We go directly to the source. This is a deal that I negotiated tough on and worked hard to get the cost down so that I could pass that savings along to our customers. And here's the piece that's sold on Catching the Big One. That one is gone. It's in the tape, but it just sold yesterday to Mr. J. That's going to Georgia. Here's a great one, Ye Pipe and Bowl. We have a little self-portrait happening here in a way. We have Norman Rockwell, who was very tall and slender. He used to call himself a string bean without the beans. I loved his, he always seemed to have a self-deprecating style of humor, which of course I love. And we have Ben's Bells. There's Mr. Benjamin Franklin right there with these women just swooning over him. And now Norman Rockwell depicted, did very, very famous pieces, portraits of the presidents throughout his lifetime. There's Starstruck, that piece, the original that sold for over $2 million. And we are lucky enough to be graced with a pencil signed and numbered lithograph of that piece. And now we have 4 of these in a row. You're going to see, this is the Grandpa and Me suite. It's a suite of 4. We are selling these individually framed. You could certainly purchase all 4 or whichever one speaks to you, but really fun pieces. And kind of a fun tidbit about this, originally designed for a calendar. They were originally called the Four Seasons Calendar from 1948. Became so popular, and people were taking the pieces from the calendar and framing them up and putting them on their wall like artwork because they just loved the pieces so much. They became iconic in their own sense. Norman Rockwell decided to make an edition of them, renamed it the Grandpa and Me Suite. And there is the 4th. This is them raking leaves. I mean, these are just iconic images. I hope you start to feel a little bit of nostalgia, even for an era that you may not have even lived through. Sometimes we feel nostalgic for something that didn't even happen to us. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, And now we're starting over. So you saw the images that we have. I'm gonna let this kind of play out so you could see them all. It's important to really think about which piece you want to adorn on your wall. I have a Norman Rockwell at home in my bedroom that I just love. It's the Gaiety dance team. It really, and it makes me smile every time I look at it because, again, he was the great American storyteller. And when I look at that piece, I think of the story. There's these expressions on the faces of the characters that he depicts that just tells it all. I just love that piece. It makes me happy. It's a husband and wife dance team. They look like they just lost a dance competition. They have a look of defeat on their face, and but it's done in sort of a tongue-in-cheek, fun way. So it's not at all a sad piece, but he's kind of just having fun. And there's the piece that is unfortunately sold, but shipping out tomorrow to Georgia. That's Catching the Big One. I'm not surprised that this piece sold because that was one of his iconic Saturday Evening Post covers. Of course, really being known for hundreds of designs over decades, doing the magazine covers for the Saturday Evening Post, going on to do covers for Life magazine as well. I have this beautiful on loan large art book of Norman Rockwell just for the show tonight that I'm so happy I get to just look through and I could read you some excerpts from it as well. And listen to this. These words from the preface by the editors of Time Life books point to the enduring charm of Norman Rockwell And this volume with its superb reproductions, including 2, 3, and even 4-page spreads, this is from this book, finally does justice to an artist whose works have been most often seen only in the impermanent mediums of magazines and calendars. More than 600 of Norman Rockwell's best illustrations have been reproduced, providing an unusually broad view of his work. He painted 318 Saturday Evening Post covers. So really, again, this is, you know, when we talk about sort of artists of America, that Americana. Yes, then thank you for calling. Okay, the medicine, that'll be the first one we put up. That's a great piece, the mother giving her son medicine, and as a mother myself of 2 young boys, it's a piece that I love even more now. Yes. Yeah, you just let me know. We thank you so much. We have some people calling in. And which other one?
Just the medicine. Right?
The medicine. Okay, you got it. And who's on the line for that? You can just tell me the first initial of their last name. We'll put the medicine up on. I'll move this one out of the way, and we'll go once we get out of the loop tape. Who's that?
Mr. C.
Mr. C. Okay, Mr. C. We're gonna put on. We're going to put on the medicine up on the easel. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, okay, great. And I'm going to give Mr. C the first price of the night. I'm going to even see if I can find Mr. C the retail. And now for the retail, and there it is on the loop tape, and you're going to see it in person in just a moment. Just give me one moment. And the Norman Rockwell Museum has a lovely website. It's nrm.org. Every single piece that we have, they're for sale on the Norman Rockwell Museum store website. They have them at the retail prices. Many of these pieces, $3,000, $4,000 or more. I just wanted to see if I have, and I do. So I have the retail. And Mr. C, I think you're going to love the price that we're going to give you tonight. Okay. All right, so when you guys are ready, we'll come back to camera 2. I just want to really quickly share with you, because I know when we started off the show, I shared with you some original painting retails. We know that he has commanded the most money for an American painter, $43 million, $2 million for a piece original to one of the pieces that we have tonight. So this is, I mentioned the Norman Rockwell Museum store has all of these pieces for sale. And I want to show you, before we go to the piece, here it is, the medicine. And you could buy it right now, and there's their price, $3,000 for many of these pieces are artist proofs, pencil signed and numbered, so there it is. And now let's go to our piece on the easel. And thank you for calling. And we'll have our graphics up there in just a moment, because then you're gonna be, get ready, because I'm gonna give you our price. It's not gonna be the $3,000 retail. There it is, the medicine, beautifully framed. I'll stand next to it. You see the size, but I know it helps to see just someone standing by it so you can kind of get an idea of how large it is. Custom framed in a gold frame, beautiful matte. Small edition size of 200. This one happens to be number 88 of 200. There's his signature right there. That's what you want. And as long as I'm the art buyer here at Rare Collectibles, I won't have a stamped or an estate signed Norman Rockwell. I'm only gonna buy pencil signed Norman Rockwells, because that's really where the value is. That's what you wanna collect, with the artist's signature in pencil right there. You could put $3,000 up there. That's what you're gonna pay if you go to the Norman Rockwell Museum, but I'm gonna beat that price for you. I know he's waiting patiently, thank you. $1,395 is your price. Custom framed Norman Rockwell lithograph, and that's such a great piece. The medicine was published by the Saturday Evening Post in May of 1936. So this is it. This is just one of the 320 covers of the Saturday Evening Post. So this graced the cover of the magazine right here. It's during this time that with the Post that Rockwell rose to prominence and solidified his reputation as one of America's greatest illustrators. Showcased in this scene, we have Rockwell's ability to command innocence and nostalgia. The result is an incredibly relatable piece. We have a mother giving medicine to her son, just a sweet little glimpse into everyday American life. He's taking that medicine very willingly. I wish my 3-year-old would take medicine that willingly. But really, it's a beautiful piece. Thank you so much, Mr. C. And thanks for putting it up. Okay, let's go to, we have a great piece, and that's still for sale. We're going to go to the piece to the left of me, and this is from the Tom Sawyer suite that he did. There's just a few pieces that I absolutely adore. This being one of them. It's a really playful scene. Again, you got that just little glimpse into American life at the time. We have a boy sitting in church who's distracted by his adorable pup who's next to him, and the pup, of course, distracted by a beetle right in front of his nose. So we have a little bit of a chain reaction. No one's listening to the sermon, but everyone's having fun in this piece. Again, the most important part of all of these pieces right here, pencil signed by Norman Rockwell right here. We have, again, numbered. This is edition number. This is also same edition size because the medicine is also from the Tom Sawyer suite number 88 of 300, I believe, is the, yes, edition size. And I'm going to honor that price. Are you ready? $1,395 is your price. I only have one of each of these. It was difficult to pull together this many iconic images from the life of an artist who just is just filled with iconic images. But it was difficult to do. We pulled it together. We have just one of each. So please let me know when this one has found a home, and we'll move along. Perhaps we'll go back to the loop just for a moment, and then we'll get ready for, just so you can see them again, and then we'll start going through them live and pricing them. Okay, thank you so much. This one's still available. We'll go back to our loop tape so you can, again, just see them all in 15-second increments, and then we'll get ready with the next one on the easel, and I'll start just giving you prices on all these. So I'll let you move that one so we know that we have shown it, and you can put up whichever one next. We'll go through them all. There's Dog and Beetle. We just saw that one, so you know your price is $1,395 on that. And call up and register. If you're not already, you want to be ready for the top of the next hour at 6 o'clock Pacific time. We're going to be giving away a very nice free gift as a thank you to 5 lucky customers who call in and register. And registering is a simple process. It's just calling up, giving us your name and your address, your email if you'd like to, and then that way you could be a part of our email blast that goes out promoting the shows, and you could be on top of it like Mr. J. You see that piece that this is it. You see that piece that you want, you know is an unbeatable price, and you scoop it up and have it shipped off to you. Or Mr. H from Indiana who purchased our heritage off our website. I knew that piece was going to be a hit, especially with any of our coin customers, because that one depicts George Washington. It's just such a great piece, and I just kind of had a feeling that would be a popular piece.
We have Mr. D.
Mr. D, where's he calling from?
Chula Vista, California.
Oh, here in California.
Interested in the Dog and Beetle.
Great, okay, well, Mr. D, you got it. It's up on the easel to the left of me. We haven't taken it down, so that's perfect. We're gonna go right back to it. Let's have him take a second look at Dog and Beetle. It's such a great piece. A really playful piece. Okay, so Mr. D from Chula Vista, here is Dog and Beetle from the Tom Sawyer suite, edition 88 of 300. And Mr. D, I'm proud to give you that price, $1,395. You could, I don't know if you're going to find a better price out there. We do real hard work to buy these as low as we can. beautifully framed. So this was one of, again, many illustrations of the Mark Twain's Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And again, here we just have his uncanny ability to capture everyday emotion and everyday situations in one single image. You have so much happening right here on one sheet of paper, and it's a story that's going to continue to, I hope, make you very happy that as long as you have it hanging on in your home. Okay, and Mr. D is going to think about that, and we're going to go to another piece from the Tom Sawyer suite. To the right of me, this is called here we go. Sneaking Out. This is another illustration of Mark Twain's Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And these have been very, very popular. So Rockwell's illustrations of the Tom Sawyers rank some of the most collected pieces. These have always been very, very popular pieces due to the fact that Rockwell was the only illustrator at the time to have visited Mark Twain's boyhood home. By visiting, Rockwell was able to depict the scenes in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer like they had never been depicted before. Here we see Tom Sawyer's boyish curiosity exemplified as he sneaks out of the top window of his home to meet Huck Finn in the graveyard. And again, retails on these pieces easily $3,000, $4,000. Your price from us, $1,395. And it's custom framed, beautifully, I must say. Matted. Again, this one, number 88 of an edition of just 300. And every piece that you purchase is going to come with our certificate of authenticity.
Dog and Beetle has sold to Mr. D.
Oh, Mr. D, thank you for your purchase. Dog and Beetle is sold. Wonderful. I hope that he loves that piece. I hope you get that and find the perfect spot in your home for it, and it speaks to you every day. That's wonderful. Thank you, Mr. D. Okay, and we're thinking about this one. Let's move on to the left of me. I'm gonna go through all these that you've seen now and give you these excellent prices. And I believe I have a retail I'm gonna show you for this one right here. We're going to Ye Pipe and Bowl. There it is. Again, a beautiful frame, darker wood. Okay, let me see if I'm certain I have this one. Oh, thought I did. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here it is, I do. Okay. Now we have a few of them here. I just want to really quickly give you the retail for this before I give you my best. It's what I'm proud to do here. So take a look at this, and down, I know there's a few, but if you look down by where my fingers, you're gonna see Ye Pipe and Bowl. Here we go, lithograph on paper, price right here for $3,750. One above it also for $3,700. It doesn't tell you that, I'm not sure why this one's $50 more. They're the same edition size, but there you have it. So we're gonna give it to you at our Rare Collectibles absolute best price. $1,475 is our price. You're not gonna pay $3,750. It's $1,495 for Pipe and Bowl. And this one's a little bit larger. I'm gonna step next to it. Really beautifully framed, great piece. I don't think this one is supposed to be a self-portrait, but the stature of the man certainly does remind me a little bit of Norman Rockwell with that sort of beanpole look, the long, skinny look, and he's leaning over, painting what must be a sign for a pipe and bowl shop.
Oh,
thank you so much.
from Reno, Nevada.
Oh,
Yes.
Mr. M?
No,
Oh, Mr. B, thank you. Thank you for calling in. It's great to be back. And again, I'll just sort of reintroduce myself here and there throughout the show. Collectible Art with Claire. I am Claire DeTusa, and you may have seen me like Mr. B. I've been on TV before. I've been lucky enough to have been in the art business as a buyer and also as a seller the past 10 years or so. I've bought and sold many Norman Rockwell pieces before, and now being the second art show here at Rare Collectibles, I'm very, very happy to be here selling just beautiful works of art by really one of the most beloved painters in American history, a name as synonymous with American Pie. You have a man who captured everyday American life in different situations throughout the decades, somebody who really just captured the hearts and minds of everybody who saw the images that graced the Saturday Evening Post throughout their lives, throughout their families. These are pieces that really become family heirlooms, that become just generational pieces. And we talked about, I talked about briefly, we have the 4 pieces from the Grandpa and Me suite, how that originally was actually the 4 seasons. It was a calendar that he created. And that calendar became so popular, people would take out the images from their calendar and end up framing them because they loved the pieces so much that he did an edition of them. So really, these are pieces that just have stuck with the hearts and minds of people throughout generations. And here we have Pipe and Bowl, just a classic Norman Rockwell, little glimpse into another era, whether he's painting, depicting life from the 20s, or this looks like colonial time before, up until the 60s, 70s. You have just the different eras of American life told through really the different eras of Norman Rockwell. He went through really these golden ages of time, and it's hard to pinpoint what he's most well known for. Is it his scenes that he did during the Great Depression to sort of bring a happy face to families in need at the time, who, when we needed, our country was at a low time and the market crashed and it was a very hard time for a lot of families. Norman Rockwell was there. He was painting these little moments from everyday life that sort of were uplifting, that brought people together. Moving on through the civil rights movement in the 1960s, some really iconic pieces that spoke volumes of what was happening at the time, that solidified, a very, very important movement, important part of our history. So really, they're pieces of history, and I hope that if you purchase one tonight, it becomes a part of your family that you have for years. Let's go to, speaking of sort of more colonial times, I have a piece to the right of me. I want to go through all these now again and give you these beautiful prices to match these beautiful pieces. So take a look at the piece on the easel to the right of me, and I'm going to keep just giving you these best prices, and then when they sell, they're gone. Okay, and this piece is, Ye Olde Print Shop. It's up there. Thank you. There it is. Thank you. That's the important part. Of course, the image and the art is the most important, but there is the pencil signed signature by the man himself, Norman Rockwell. Okay, $1,495 as well. We're going to honor these amazing prices. And then we're going to go to a really fun piece on the easel to the left with Ben Franklin. I love this piece. So thank you so much for your consideration. That's Ye Olde Print Shop. And then now to the left of me, we have Ben's Bells. That's Mr. Benjamin Franklin right there with these beautiful women sort of fawning over him. Everyone loves a man with brains, right? It's just kind of a fun piece. There we go, $1,495 for this one as well. every piece is going to speak something to you and tell you a different story. This is just a fun one. I love this piece. And we had the George Washington piece that sold almost instantly from our website. I knew that piece would. I knew it would speak especially to some of our coin buyers, our coin customers out there. Okay. Oh, we're gonna go. Okay. Thank you so much. So, okay, we'll go to camera 2 for a moment because I'm really excited about this next one. I have a feeling that this is gonna find a home fast. And if it doesn't, there's a few pieces I've been talking about. If this doesn't sell, I want to add it to my own collection. It's so hard to not want to do that with a studio filled with amazing pieces of artwork. But this is Starstruck, and I showed you earlier, I'll show you one more time, the original painting to this, which was valued to sell anywhere between $800,000 and a little over $1 million, took over $2 million. And it's easy to see why. That's such a great piece. And talk about nostalgia. Here we have, it looks like it was from the 1950s. I'll give you the exact date in a moment, but this is Starstruck. This is a large piece too, framed up. And here we have that adolescent boy who's just looking longingly at the faces that covered the magazines back then. And then we have his dog looking up at him, wondering what he's thinking and looking at, wondering why the dog's not getting attention. But it's just such a beautiful piece. Pencil signed right there is his signature, Mr. Norman Rockwell. And you can see the edition right here on the left, a small edition of 200. It's incredible we're able to get just one of these. Only 200 were made, and we're lucky enough to have one in the studio here tonight. Such a great piece. Are you ready for this? It's, again, original sold for what, over $2 million. Here's the hand-signed and numbered stone-colored lithograph. $1,495 is your price for Starstruck. I will be shocked if this one does not sell. Oh, we have a great one coming up. There's just so many iconic pieces. I love that. Yeah, just take a look at that for a moment. I don't want to move off this one for just a minute. And of course, not surprisingly, this one also graced the cover of the Saturday Evening Post. September, I was off, I apologize, I'd said the 50s, but this was published by the Post in September of 1934. I think the wardrobe threw me off. The shoes felt more 50s to me, but I was a couple decades ahead. So 1934 was when the original image to Starstruck came out. And it was one of the 320 covers for the Post. Great story piece. I just love it. I hope that you love it too, or that you see another piece tonight that is speaking to you. Okay, so we'll move on. That one's still here. But we're going to move on to what was originally known as the Season Suites, which is now the Grandpa and Me Suite. Very fitting for Norman Rockwell. As we've talked about, a lot of these pieces you've perhaps seen from your own grandparents or throughout your childhood, throughout your lifetime, pieces that have just become family heirlooms. So to do a suite honoring a grandpa and his grandson, very fitting for Norman Rockwell. And here we have Fishing from the Grandpa and Me Suite. Hand-signed and numbered lithograph. And let's see. Oops, I had the retail for that one earlier. Okay. And the retails for these, again, $3,000, $4,000, some even more. But tonight on the show, we have a very special price for these pieces, and this is a large custom framed, $1,495. And there it is, number 39 of an edition of just 100. Beautiful. You have a grandpa and his grandson just running off. That looks like the boy. The boy is very excited. The grandpa is walking a little slower, running off to do some fishing, and the dog is ahead of the game. You know, tonight I've been excited about tonight, just because I've been working on the deal. You know, by daytime I'm the art buyer. By nighttime, I get to show you the paintings and the pieces I've worked hard on collecting. And this was a deal that I must say, I'm so glad that we pulled together. Some of these pieces came in a little bit last minute, but I really wanted this to be a special show. For everyone who's watching and out there, thank you again for tuning in. I hope that at least you call in and register, get your chance to call in and get a very nice free gift that we're giving away in about 10 minutes. Is that correct? Yeah. In about 10 minutes from now, we'll be giving away a free gift. So call up and talk to your operator. If there's a piece that you've seen that you want to just take a closer look at, let me know. We have we have some other art later in the night. I wanted to spend at least the first hour on Norman Rockwell and show you all these great pieces. Thank you so much. So fishing is still here, and we'll go to camera 2 before we go to the next of the Grandpa and Me suite. We have all 4 pieces. They are, I believe, a matching set, so, and I'll double check that in just a moment. But again, thank you so much for watching and for joining us on a special night honoring America's painter, Mr. Norman Rockwell. Again, when you talk about American art, it doesn't get more Americana than Norman Rockwell. We have someone who's been depicting American life and scenes from the decades, really from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and on. Just little glimpses of what everyone was doing at the time, the big things, the little things, whether it's a mother giving her son medicine or a little girl walking to school for the first time after the desegregation. There's been so much to cover, and Norman Rockwell has really done it all. So let's go to the next for the Grandfather and Me suite, the Grandpa and Me suite. This is ice skating. And again, thank you for watching and for joining us. Get ready to call in and register because we'll be giving away some free gifts soon. And then a little later in the show, we'll switch over to another household name, someone from the same era, but who was doing art a little bit differently. Someone known as more than just an artist, but a fashion designer, theatrical set designer, jewelry maker, and that is Mr. Roman de Tirov, otherwise known as Erte. Some really, really beautiful hand-signed and numbered Ertes for you a little bit later in the show. So we got all sorts of art. And I'm sorry, yes, the price. $1,495 is your price for a pencil signed and numbered Norman Rockwell. This is ice skating from the Grandpa and Me suite, originally known as Winter for the Four Seasons. And there we have the signature, and thank you so much. The edition, this one is number 39 of a very small edition size, only 100. Beautiful, beautifully framed. Okay, thank you so much. And we'll go to, we have 2 more of the Grandpa and Me suite, right? Okay, so we'll go to the third so you could see it framed up, and I'll stand next to it. So camera 2 when you guys are ready, and then we'll go to Picking Daisies is the next one. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll go through the next one because I want to make sure I price all these for you, and then get ready because we're going to be giving away a free gift. Always fun. $1,495 for Picking Daisies as well. And I meant to show you this first. I'm sorry, my fault. Let me just really quickly, because I do have this one, the retail on this one for you. Okay, take a look at this. I'm getting ahead of the game. I was so excited to give you my best price. So here it is, Grandpa and Me, Picking Daisies, pencil signed and numbered, print, lithograph, of course, and here's their price, $3,750. Well, I'm very confident and happy to say that we've beaten that price by quite a lot, actually, less than half of that price. And here it is in our studio for your consideration, perhaps something that you will want to take home and put on your wall. Look how large, this is a large one too. I'm standing next to it just for size comparison so you can get an idea of how large of a space on your wall this is going to take up. A beautiful piece. Grandpa and his grandson picking daisies, but I think the grandson is the only one who's doing that. The grandpa's taking that opportunity to have a little snooze in the grass. And then we have the loyal dog next to the boy right there. It's such a beautiful piece. And what a wonderful present that would make. And then the last of the Grandpa and Me suite, again, originally the Seasons, is going to be the last one we show of this, which was originally Autumn. Okay, thank you. I know we have some people online thinking about it. They want to see them all. And I just showed you that retail, not $3,750, but $1,495 is our price to you. Custom framed as well, in a beautiful large gold wooden frame. There's that man's signature right there, Norman Rockwell, in pencil, just below the leaves. Certainly an icon in and of himself, the most well-known illustrator and perhaps most beloved American painter of all time. And can I just show this one more time, because this is really saying something. So previously, the previous record for the most expensive American painting was George Bellow's Polo Crowd, which sold for $27.7 million. And then we had Norman Rockwell right here. Take a look. The most expensive American painting, Saving Grace, a beautiful image, a record $46 million is what that original painting sold for. So if you have $46 million, or of course you could see his works on permanent display in museums around the country, and then in my opinion, to own a hand-signed and numbered stone lithograph, which is a beautiful piece of artwork. Here we go with the Grandpa and Me suite for $1,495 by a true legend. Is certainly a price I am not only proud of, but would snatch up myself if I wasn't offering these to our customers. Okay, and that was the last of the Grandpa and Me suite. And if there's any requests, if there's anything you'd like to see, please let me know. But I think what I'd like to do now is I want to play that Norman Rockwell documentary for you one more time in case you missed it in the beginning of the show. We have a 7-minute documentary, and you're going to get to see a glimpse of Norman Rockwell throughout his life. There's some great images in there. It's just a great a short documentary that we were able to pull together just for the show tonight. That's what we do best here at Rare Collectibles. You see Rick and Jack and James. We work hard to put these educational and information in a fun and entertaining way is our motto with coins. It's certainly being carried on, I hope, by me at the art show here. So take a look at this. You'll get a little glimpse into the life of Norman Rockwell. We come back. I'm going to give away some free gifts. So stay tuned and have that hand ready by the phone, because you'll have your chance of getting a free gift when this is over. Take a look.
Creating over 4,000 original paintings over the course of his prolific career, Norman Rockwell's name has been eternally etched in the conversation of American art. Regardless of the focus of his work, Rockwell was known for being a master of depicting the subtle emotions of everyday life through his detailed illustrations. Today, when the topic of Americana comes up, it is impossible not to include Norman Rockwell in the discussion. But how did the legacy of this iconic American artist begin? Born to Jarvis and Ann Rockwell on February 3, 1894, in New York City, Norman was a quiet boy who grew up moving from boarding house to boarding house with his family. As a child, Rockwell never viewed himself in a special light. In fact, he has said that he thought himself nothing more than a lump, a long skinny nothing, a beanpole without the beans. Growing up, Rockwell was not inclined to athletics, nor to scholarly work. In his words, all he had was the ability to draw. At age 14, Rockwell was called into the principal's office due to his poor performance in school, and his principal asked whether Rockwell wanted to graduate high school or go to art school. Shortly after that conversation, Rockwell dropped out of high school and began attending Chase Art School before attending the National Academy of Design, and finally, the Art Students League. At the Art Students League, Rockwell studied under great American illustrators and painters Thomas Fogarty and George Bridgman. The artistic principles that he learned from these men set the foundation for the rest of his art career. At the age of just 19, Rockwell became the art editor for Boys Life magazine, published by Boy Scouts of America, a connection he would hold on to for a vast majority of his life. His first piece for Boys Life was published in 1913 and was titled Scout at Ship's Wheel. In 1915, Rockwell and his family moved to New Rochelle, New York, where they shared a studio with Clyde Forsyth, an illustrator for the Saturday Evening Post. With the help of Forsyth, Rockwell submitted his first successful cover to the Saturday Evening Post. This illustration was published in 1916 and was titled Mother's Day Off. This illustration playfully depicts a young boy pushing a baby carriage while being teased by other young boys out playing baseball. In the following 7 months, the Saturday Evening Post published 5 more Rockwell covers: Circus Barker and Strongman, Gramps at the Plate, Redhead Loves Hattie Perkins, People in a Theater Balcony, and Man Playing Santa. Over the next 47 years, Rockwell created 323 covers for the Saturday Evening Post. Rockwell's success with the Saturday Evening Post led to opportunities with other renowned magazines, such as Literary Digest and Life. Although Rockwell left his job with Boys Life and Boy Scouts of America in 1916, he still maintained a great relationship with them. In 1926, he began producing the first of what would be 51 illustrations for the Boy Scouts of America calendar. In 1943, Rockwell was inspired by Franklin Delano Roosevelt's memorable State of the Union address, where FDR solemnly declared 4 universal and necessary freedoms. This iconic speech triggered Rockwell to create his world-famous 4 Freedoms series. These 4 paintings, titled Freedom of Speech, Freedom of Worship, Freedom from Want, and Freedom from Fear, were met with enormous success. Immediately after their production, these paintings became the highlight of a traveling exhibition that was sponsored by both the Saturday Evening Post and the U.S. Department of Treasury. During this exhibition tour, these paintings traveled to 16 cities where over 1 million people came to see them. This exhibition raised nearly $133 million in war bonds and stamps, aiding greatly in the World War II war effort. However, shortly after the release and success of the 4 Freedoms paintings, tragedy struck Rockwell when a fire erupted which destroyed his studio, burning many of his props, costumes, and original paintings inside. Rather than acting as a setback, this tragedy actually caused Rockwell to grow as an artist. At this point, the focus of Rockwell's paintings shifted, now depicting modern characters existing in modern settings and dealing with events that were taking place at the time. In the following years, Rockwell continued producing illustrations for the Post with his new modern twist. This time period established Rockwell as an emotional and nostalgic painter, focusing on idealistic images of daily American life. In a sense, Rockwell became synonymous with the iconic image of the American dream. This changed in 1963 when Rockwell ended his 47-year relationship with the Saturday Evening Post and began making covers for Look magazine. At this point, Rockwell's work entered a third phase, and his focus shifted once again, this time towards bigger social issues, including civil rights and poverty. His most notable work of this time and one of the most potent of his career is The Problem We All Live With, centered around Ruby Bridges and desegregation. Norman Rockwell passed away on November 8th of 1978 in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. To this day, Norman Rockwell is known as one of the greatest American illustrators and painters of all time, and his legacy continues to live on and inspire new generations of artists. Norman Rockwell's impact stretched far beyond painting and illustrating. He was not only an excellent painter and illustrator, he was a phenomenal storyteller. Using his pencil and paintbrush, Rockwell was able to tell stories like no one else. Relatable stories which spoke to people, pulled on their heartstrings, and created symphonies in their minds that played to the memories of their own lives.
Hi, welcome back. Thank you so much, and thanks for joining us. I hope that you had a chance to watch the Norman Rockwell mini documentary that we've put together in honor of tonight, the beautiful, iconic works of America's painter, America's illustrator, the one and only Norman Rockwell. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so excited. There is one piece that was not a part of our loop tape earlier when I got to show you all the pieces, and it's a really interesting special piece. Also, one of the covers of the Saturday Evening Post. This is a great story telling the story of America through the family tree, and I have to just show it to you. This is called Family Tree, and it's a piece you haven't seen yet on the show, so take a look at this. From 1959, the original painting to this piece is on permanent display at the Norman Rockwell Museum in Massachusetts. So you could go there and see the original, or we have one copy here on the show tonight, a pencil signed and numbered lithograph by Norman Rockwell, and it's just such another just great storytelling piece. Rockwell, at the time that he painted this piece, was working on his autobiography and was just really fixated on sort of the lineage of his family and the lineage of America, and wanted to sort of do a piece in honor of the family tree of our country and what that would look like. His son, Tom, was actually ghostwriting his autobiography and talks about how Norman wanted to trace the lineage of an American family in a painting, as the final chapter was devoted to the day-by-day account of how this painting was created. So the basic structure for the painting is a tree. Norman Rockwell took that the concept of that from a 12th century Dutch family tree, a photo which was found by Rockwell by reference by a librarian. He did all this work, to stimulate kind of aging effects that he did with the painting that is translated through the lithograph. But most importantly, we have this story here. And here we have at the bottom, the lineage starts with a Spanish pirate and a princess. Really controversial at the time. And Rockwell, though he had is known for a lot of his very kind of heartwarming family pieces, also really pushed the limits with a lot of his pictures and imagery. And here we have, he wanted to tell the story that our history comes from, Spanish pirates and this princess you see it from a sinking Spanish boat. And he loved this idea of having at the very top, the all-American boy descend from a pirate and his stolen Spanish princess. His friend and therapist, Eric Erickson, at the time said, don't you think you ought to start off the family, should you really start off the family with the family tree with a cutthroat, a barbarian? And Rockwell experimented with changing the pirate to a Puritan, and then finally returned to his original idea and said, his quote was, "Everybody had a horse thief or two in their family." And this is really where we come from, and we should really be showing the truth of that. So we have sort of this interesting lineage, again, that starts from the bottom and goes up through just different eras of America. We have Native Americans, then we have the Puritans, and we have what becomes at the very top, though this was done in 1959, a very 1950s sort of nuclear family with the boy, this innocent-looking redheaded boy at the very top, but a really interesting piece. And again, graced the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, this exact piece. So perhaps you've seen this already in your lifetime in one form or another. Now, the retail value on this exact piece is $5,900. You could even put that price up there. We found a good price online, and I'll show that to you when you're ready. So yeah, it even says on here the current retail is $5,900. The price from this website, this gallery online right here, is $3,600. Quite a discount from the retail. But it's my job as the art buyer here to get you great pieces of art at exceptional prices. And I am confident that we have done that with this piece. We'll go back to it, and I'm going to give you my absolute best. And that's not the retail of $5,900, nor is it the discounted price from this gallery of $3,650. I hear a phone or two ringing. We have the one piece, custom framed, $1,395 is your price. Because I didn't have to just beat the retail, I had to beat the competitors' prices as well. And we work razor thin with these margins to just really get you exceptional pricing on valuable pieces of artwork that I'm certain will become heirlooms in your art collection. And what a story piece by a true storyteller. Okay, and then I believe we're past due on our free gift. So perhaps you'll consider this one last moment, and then I'm gonna go ahead and you can see behind the piece we have on our beautiful set, this shelf with some beautiful glass vases, which please stay tuned next week. We are going to be, next week we have a very exciting glass art show, incredible pieces by glassmaker Wes Hunting, beautiful, one-of-a-kind, original handmade glass sculptures, vases. I hope you see something that you love. We have three behind me on set, just sort of in honor of that show to decorate our set. And below that we have some Ivan Earl greeting cards. Thank you so much. And right now, get online because we're going to give away to 5 lucky customers who call up and register. I'm going to send you, just as a thank you for watching, and I hope you stay tuned with me. These are just beautiful. This is something that you'd see in a gallery or a museum shop. You go to a museum and you exit through the gift shop and you see beautiful little art pieces and trinkets to buy. This is something that you'd find in a museum shop. They retail for $25. It's a box set of 20 Ivan Earl beautiful artwork scenes. So we have 10 of each. This one happens to be winter scenes. 20 blank note cards with envelopes are great gifts, great things to have around. It's yours free. It's just my thank you for watching the show right now. So call in and let me know when all 5 are gone. So this is one. We have a few different options. We'll send you something nice, but this is one, the winter scenes. I also have, this is Ivan Earl's Coastlines. If you missed last week, our very first art show here at Rare Collectibles was an Ivan Earl landscape show. We had some just incredible signed and numbered silk screens by the founder, really, of the magical realism movement, a Disney legend, and someone who I've personally just really been captivated by in all my years as a buyer and as a seller of his work. Look at this. They're beautiful items to own. Thank you so much. The first one's gone. First and second, thank you so much, and thank you for watching. We'll be sending these shortly to you. We work quick. They'll go out soon. And if you missed that Ivan Earl show, you could see what we have left on our website. Thank you so much. Another one is gone. We have a couple left. Visit us at rarecollectiblestv.com. There's our URL at the bottom of the screen. And if you click on art, you could see everything that we have, including the Norman Rockwells on the Tonight Show. And you could see all of the incredible signed and numbered Ivan Durrell silk screens that we had on the show last week that are still available. We have some books on there, a few things we didn't even have time to show you. You know, we had a show planned. I got really caught up with talking about Ivan Durrell, who I've been captivated by, and who's left such an impact on me personally, that I wanted to show you all the silk screens. Thank you so much. Didn't have time to show some of the Disney works, some beautiful original production designs. So those are up on our website as well. So check out our website, take a look at what we have. And if you're not already on our email blast, please call up and register, and you will be notified every week before we go live on Wednesdays, a little preview of what's to come. You get kind of a first glimpse at some of the artworks that are available. You can make a purchase from our website. You could call and ask for it to, oh, thank you so much. All 5 gifts are gone. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy your free gift. So if there's a Norman Rockwell you want to see one more time at any point in the show, call up. Please, by all means, interrupt me. Talk to your operators. They'll tell me what piece you want to see. We'll put it up on the easel. We'll talk about it. If I have a retail, I'll show you that. And most importantly, I'll try to let the artwork speak directly to you. But I want to move on because we have more in the show, and our time is soon coming to an end. We're going to move on. We have a few pieces by another household name in the art industry, another just really a founder, known as the father of Art Deco, one of my personal favorite art movements. You know, we are now officially back in the 20s, right? We're in 2020, so certainly Art Deco has made a big resurgence over the last few years or so, and now we're officially back in the 20s, the Roaring 20s, a time of decadence and elegance, you know, certainly before it unfortunately all kind of came crashing down. The 20s were remembered as this time of just, you know, just decadence and brilliance in fashion, in architecture, in design, and in artwork. And Erte, real name Roman de Tierhoff, he was just he was one of the forces of the Art Deco art movement. Erte really got his start in fashion, doing theater set designs, doing costume design, and he eventually branched out to be a fine artist and has made some really incredible additions, and we have a few of them tonight. I've always been such a huge fan, so I'm so excited to share with you what we were able to pull together for the show tonight. So let's go to the first piece. These are beautiful. Again, as long as I'm the art buyer here, every single edition is going to be pencil or pen hand signed and numbered by the artist. These are not estate signed or stamped. These are hand signed and numbered, created by Erte himself. And look at that, just a beautiful piece. You have this flair, you know, a flair for fashion. Erte, it was his mission to just beautify the female form and figure with these elaborate costume designs. Look at that, artist proof right there. A serigraph. Coming of Spring is this piece. And should I just go ahead and price these as we go? I think we will, because we're running out of time. So Erte, and my little tie-in tonight with Norman Rockwell, though they are essentially from the same era, both born at the turn of the century, and have very different styles, they have a few things in common. Rockwell, obviously very well known for his magazine covers throughout the years of the Saturday Evening Post. Erte also known for his covers of Harper's Bazaar magazine, and like Norman Rockwell, did hundreds of covers for Harper's Bazaar. Take a look at this. So the original, here's just one. Here's a cover, the original cover of a 1920s edition of Harper's Bazaar magazine. I have right here, just so you could take a look. I just want to show you, again, also in common with Mr. Norman Rockwell, Erte originals command very high prices. So here we have an original 1920s Harper's Bazaar cover artwork by Erte, sold at an auction. It's a beautiful piece. oops, sorry, and down, I just wanted to come around so I could see it. I'm looking at the monitor, but also when you zoom in a little closer down here, $45,000 that original artwork sold. Certainly, I have some originals to show you that command even more than that. And then also his signed and numbered editions became extremely popular. Some completely sold out, very hard to come by. Let's go back to this piece. I'm going to see if I have a retail on this. I have a lot of retails to share with you on Coming of Spring. And again, like the Rockwells, I have one of each of these. These are artists who produced these, decades and decades ago. This in pristine condition. So just to find one is hard enough. Erte also went on to design jewelry. He did bronze sculptures. I have a sculpture here for $25,000. I mean, there's just so many, multifaceted. Here, let me just give you a couple quick retails. This is a piece that we have on the show. I'll just start with this one right here. This is Ondi, and we have this one a little bit later in the show. It's a beautiful work. It's a signed and numbered serigraph by Erte. And take a look at this, just so you can have a quick comparison before I give you the price of the night. So get ready. So reduced, $3,200 is their price. And that's a piece that we have tonight for a limited edition serigraph. Okay, so we'll go right to our piece. Just wanted to give you a quick idea. So here is Coming of Spring. It's not going to cost you that reduced price of $3,200. Are you ready? I have one Coming of Spring, a beautiful theatrical piece indeed. I think we even lowered the price even more. $799 is your price. Look at that. Yeah, that's quite a discount. $799 for Coming of Spring. I have a few Ertes. I'm going to show you all of them and price them as I go. I even have two suites. Erte did the most hard to come by and famous suite is the Alphabet Suite, which is, if you find one and you can afford it, the retails are, I think, upwards of $50,000 for a complete suite. Thank you so much. We'll move on. Camera 2, I have another, and then these are the two I have that are singles that are unframed, and then I have some beautiful framed pieces. So we'll go through them quickly. I'll give you my best prices. Here's another, talk about a great theatrical piece from the theater set designer and costume designer himself. Look at this. This is Rendezvous, signed and numbered serigraph by Erte. And is it me or is it a little crooked? It looked a little crooked in the. It's the board. Well, I'll try to hold it up for you a little bit. There you go. How's that? And then you can get an idea of how large it is. Okay, get ready. I know we have some people on the line. $799 for Rendezvous as well. A beautiful edition. Pencil signed and numbered HC, which is French for artist proof. So these are prints that were reserved by Erte himself. $799 is your price. I will step away from that so we can dive in there and you can take a look at how beautiful this piece is. There's his iconic signature right there. And then maybe we'll go to a framed piece after this. We have a couple framed Ertes. Now I have a couple of, take a look at this. I have almost too many prices to share with you, but here's a small but beautiful original. A lot of Erte originals were done in gouache, which is a heavily pigmented type of watercolor paint. And here's an original gouache painting by Erte, a small one, but a beautiful one at that. And can you see that price up in the corner? $24,500 is the price for a small Erte painting. Oh, I love this piece coming up. Now take a look at this. Now this piece that I have on the easel to the right of me. A beautiful piece. It's framed up. We may... Okay, thank you so much. Just wanted to double check something. So I just want to show you and point out, so some of these pieces came from an estate, from somebody who had a beautiful large art collection. We were very, very lucky to have a few of these pieces from a large kind of estate buyout. And just so you could, oh, thank you, take a look at how big it is. But I do want to point out, so this is framed. It's a lovely frame and a nice mat, but there are, it's a well-loved piece. There's a few little dings in the frame, and I just want you to see everything. It certainly could be touched up or even reframed. I promise you I'm going to give you an unbeatable price on this, but you can see there's just a little bit of scuffing. These are pieces that this art collector had for 30, 40 years. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. The paper itself is in perfect condition, but the frames do have a minor scuffing. Swept away. And again, I have almost too many retail prices to share with you. I'll show you just one more real quick, just so you could, again, get a quick idea. So here is a piece called Bamboo. Another signed and numbered serigraph, just so you can get an idea. I want to really make sure you see that, you know, they're not only beautiful pieces, but there's a value to these. So here's a piece called Bamboo, and the retail on it is $6,500. Serigraph on paper, a beautiful piece. Thank you. And then take a look at Swept Away, which is colorful. And Erte, of course, had this just ability to pair very ornate details with just bold, beautiful colors, sometimes a more simple, you know, kind of clean line background. Look at that. $795 is your price on this one as well. Swept Away by Erte, pencil signed and numbered. A beautiful piece. And then I have another framed Erte, again, from an estate buyout that we did really moments before we went live. Everybody was working very hard to put these together, and I thank our team. It was a deal I honestly just couldn't pass up. When there's retails on these exact pieces for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and I'm able to offer these to our customers at $799, it's certainly a joy and an honor, something I'm very proud of. Thank you so much. So for your consideration, and I hope you just get to take a look at some of the art tonight, even if you don't make a purchase, that you see something that you love, that maybe you haven't seen much of Erte's work or Rockwell, and you just see some art that you like tonight. So take a look at the next one. Again, this was a part of a sort of last-minute art buy that we did to put together sort of a pairing of Rockwell and Erte tonight, an illustrator and a fashion designer together in the studio, both turn-of-the-century artists who did something for their movements that had never been done before. Here we have really Erte, known as the father of the Art Deco art movement. Look at what a beautiful piece. Oh, and this is Own Day. This is the one that I showed you the retail of earlier. Well, perfect timing. So let me see if I could put that back up. This exact piece, here it is, we found. For that reduced price. So here it is, same piece from a gallery online, and a reduction from the retail, a good price, $3,200 is not even the retail price, but the reduced price that this gallery online is selling this piece for, from 1983, limited edition serigraph. And here it is, we have the exact same piece framed up. Again, this was custom framed. probably been framed up since the 1980s. This came from a collection from a art collector who's had these pieces for decades. So here is ours, and it's not going to be the $3,200. I'm honoring that price, $799. We just have the one, and here it is, a beautiful Erte, pencil signed and numbered. This one happens to be number 165 of a small edition size of 300. What a beautiful piece. There's a movement to so many of his pieces. And again, having a background in theater, in both set design and costume design, Erte certainly depicts that throughout his artistic career as well. We have these just very fanciful and ornate costumes. He was quoted by saying it was his, it was sort of his life goal to dress the woman of the time, whether that was the 1920s, 30s, or 40s. Look at that, just beautiful. Even her hair seems to be just moving with these beautiful beads around her. I love it, yes. $799 for the one and only that we have, custom framed. And then thank you so much for considering that. Camera 2 will move on. And again, if there's anything you'd like to see in the show, whether it's a Norman Rockwell that caught your eye earlier that you want to have a second glimpse at, or one of the Ertes, or perhaps a piece behind me on the set, give us a call. We're always happy to put something on the easel for you. But for now, until I have a request, I will continue with the Ertes that we have. And here's the next piece on the easel to the right of me. And then I'm going to show you, I have two very special suites. One is a suite of 12, and one is a suite of 7. Amazing pieces. And here's the last framed up Erte that we have from this art collector estate sale. There's that signature, pencil signed. Okay, Stranded, it's number 115 of an edition of 300. I only have the one, and your price, it almost doesn't feel right saying it. As an art buyer, I've never been able to offer Ertes this low. $799 for a custom framed, hand signed and numbered Erte serigraph. That's an incredible price. Hi, thank you so much. We're going to do a quick little promotion for a coin show that we have coming up. And then when we come back, I'm going to sort of give you one last look at the Ertes that we have. I have a really special suite, the Zodiac suite. It's a 12-piece suite coming up. So take a look at this. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Rick Tamaska, and this is Rare Collectibles TV. Each week, I bring you Rick's U.S. Coin Show, featuring rare, unique, and collectible coins showcasing our country's numismatic history. I've been a coin collector all my life who happens to talk each week on TV about coins. I'm not a salesperson up here on TV selling coins. Rather, I'm a coin guy on TV, hopefully sharing all the information I've learned about coins during the last 35 years. To me, coins are about history, quality, numismatic passion, our heritage. Our goal here on Rare Collectibles TV is to share our knowledge, our years and decades of experience with you, the viewer. And hopefully in the short presentations we give you, you can learn something that has taken us 30, 35 years to learn. And even if you don't buy a single coin, if you've learned something, it's all good.
Hi, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I had to run a little coin promotion right there. I've had the pleasure of knowing Rick, Jack, and James for many years, actually. Even though I'm new to the team here at Rare Collectibles, I've known them for a long time. Again, I'm Claire DeTusa, your host of Collectible Art with Claire, and I've been lucky enough to have been an art buyer, and also you may have seen me on TV before over the past 10 years or so. And though it feels very new to me again to be up here and presenting you with art, I've been in the business a while. I've known Rick a long time, and it's my pleasure to be a part of the team here at Rare Collectibles. So thank you for having me. Thank you for watching. And we have about a half hour left in the show, and I hope you've enjoyed some of the Rockwells and Ertes that we have tonight. What I have next for you is such a treat. Any fans and collectors of Erte know that his suites, the coveted suites, are very hard to find. To find a matching suite is almost impossible. Certainly the most well-known suite by Erte is the Alphabet Suite, which is just incredible. Every single letter of the alphabet Erte has designed, shaped out by figures, men and women in his kind of fanciful costumes, beautiful style. If you could find one, they're just almost impossible to find. I just want to show you the retail on the Alphabet Suite. Take a look at this. Here's one place you could find it. We found it online for $59,996 for the complete 26-piece Alphabet Suite by Erte. Now, I did not find one of these for you, but I found one that I think you're going to love. Now, look at this. Just to find the single pieces from the Alphabet Suite. So here's a gallery selling the letter L, just the letter L. And I've had a few of these over my years as an art buyer and a seller. Just the letter L from the Alphabet Suite right here. They're priced $9,908. Now, camera two, what I've found for you, I'm very excited about. And again, if you're a collector of Erte, such a treat. I have the Zodiac Suite. It's a 12-piece suite with a cover sheet of the 12 Zodiac signs, which is always really fun. Everybody in the studio has been looking through these tonight. Of course, you find your sign and you can look at the imagery, and it's just, it's a great talking piece. Look at this. I found it online for you. Here it is, the Zodiac Suite by Erte. Retail price, $22,000 is the retail on the Zodiac Suite. We have one right now. I'm gonna go through them and show you, and I promise you, you're not gonna pay $22,000. Again, it's a 12-piece matching set. Okay, we're gonna start with the title page. So you're getting the 12 pieces plus the title page. Take a look at this. Here it is, the Zodiac by Erte, and it even tells you portfolio contents. It's the content page. An introduction by Erte, and the 12 zodiac signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All of these, it shows you at the bottom. These were published by Trisser Publishing, limited edition in New York. Yeah, you can even put the retail up there if you want in the graphics department. $22,000, that's the retail on the Zodiac suite. So that's the portfolio contents. Then we have the introduction by Erte. Take a look at this. So you're getting 14, it's a 14 sheet piece if you include the 12 Zodiacs, the 12 signs, plus the cover sheet and the introduction. So look at this, introduction by Erte. He talks about, I was born on November 10th, according to the Russian calendar, which means November 23rd, according to the European calendar. First sign of Sagittarius, a sign of energy and constant activity. For me, each sign has a special quality, which I have included in the image. He talks about the signs, about what's sort of included on each sign with the dates. My husband's a Sagittarius, so is my second born son. Look at pencil signed right here on the introduction. And then let's get right to it. Here's the first one. We're gonna show you all 12 pieces. And what do you think? Should I leave the retail up there or should I tell them the price right away? Do we have people out there who want to know the price?
Mr. H in Wisconsin wants to know the price.
Mr. H in Wisconsin, are you ready for this? Because I have a matching suite. I know, he knows this is a special piece. My desk is a mess. I apologize. I'm going to get more organized as we come here, but what I can tell you is that I am a very aggressive buyer. Let's go to the pieces right here, and then I know Mr. H is being patient because it's not $22,000. For all 12 pencil signed and numbered matching Zodiacs and justification sheet by Erte, $4,995 is your price. Thank you so much. We have I only have one suite. We have 2 people interested that are online for all 12 pieces. And look at this. So we'll start right here. We have Capricorn. We have Gemini. We'll take a look at those pieces. And I'm going to do the math for you. So at $4,995, we're talking about $416.25 per serigraph. That's an unbelievable price. Yeah. Okay, we're going to keep going. I know, you're thinking about it. Let's go to camera 2. We're going to show you all 12 pieces. Again, 12 hand-signed and numbered Erte serigraphs from the Zodiac suite with the justification page. Here we have Libra, that's my sign, Virgo. What's everyone's signs here? It's fun to...
Gemini.
You're Libra too? Yeah. Cancer?
Gemini.
Gemini? Scorpio. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. So your price, they're reminding me, is buy it now, $4,995. I would scoop in there fast to get it at that price. Or we also have a 2-pay option. 2 payments of $2,497.50 each. So please talk to your phone operator about that. Again, a 12-piece suite. We're talking about each hand-signed and numbered serigraph right now at a cost of $419, which is unbelievable. From the father of Art Deco, the suites are so hard to come by. I've never had the chance to see a complete set suite. I've, over the last 10 years, dealing with buying and selling Ertes, I've been able to find just onesies and twosies of some of the signs from this suite, but to come across a complete suite with the justification sheet and the table of contents with Erte's explanations is really incredible. So here we have Taurus and Aries. There's his signature right here. Just such a fun suite to have. And then I'd love to, while we're looking at these, read from that what he wrote about each sign, because that's kind of fun to talk about. Thank you so much. I know we have a few people interested. That's again, the retail on this is $22,000. I know you're out there asking, how is it possible that we're able to have the same piece? Thank you so much for so much less. And we work hard as a buyer. Again, I've been in the business over 10 years. I've worked closely with artists directly, gallery owners and art vendors. And when a deal comes by that's this good, I work quickly, I negotiate hard, and you know, it's all just, it's all part of the fun of what we do best here. Thank you so much. And then we have, to the left of me, we have Sagittarius, which was Erte's sign himself, and Scorpio next to that. Still thinking about this piece on the phone? Okay, let me know when this is sold, because then we'll move on. I'm shocked it's still available, but if you're out there, to have a 12-piece suite, hand-signed and numbered by Erte, the father of Art Deco himself, it's a rare find. To find a complete suite is very hard to do, and to find it at this price is just impossible. So we have a few more of the, is this the, no, we have 2 more after this? Yeah. Oh, great, okay. So we have 4 up here right now, to the right of me. Pisces and Cancer. And then you even get the page that kind of gives you the little breakdown of each sign, which I love. And then it's up to you if you want to frame these up, if you want to lock these away in a portfolio case. I mean, this is really an investment piece. This is a piece that I hope you just, more than that, even just love and hang up on your wall. Find a spot for them. Would look just spectacular in a hallway, all framed up, matching. Okay, so you could see to the right of me, we have 4 up together. There's a lot of pieces. We got to find creative ways. We have Pisces and Cancer on the top, and then at the bottom here, thank you so much, we have Taurus and Aries. And then we'll show you, should we move the top 2 since they've seen those, or should we?
I think they've seen it.
Oh, you've seen them all now, okay. I don't know if we've seen Leo.
Maybe move one of those over there at least.
Okay.
We'll set it up. So Pisces, and even this, you know what I love about the sheet it comes with? It tells you how many colors. So for example, Pisces that you're looking at is a 23 color serigraph, editioned at Chromocomp Inc. in New York City. Each edition is divided as follows. There's 350 suites on Archie's silkscreen paper. It's numbered 1 out of 350 to 350 out of 350. 90 suites, artist proofs. I'm sorry, 35 artist proofs. Oh, here we go. And then we have the, thank you so much. And there's the last remaining of the Zodiac suite. So Erte himself was again, he was a Sagittarius, and according to this, a Sagittarius, those are birth dates November 23rd to December 21st, is a generous and energetic. Sagittarius loves the pleasure of life and offers the poor the golden fruit he has picked. Lucky color blue, lucky stone turquoise, lucky flower the pansy, and lucky day is Thursday. Interesting. Okay. Thank you so much. So we will wrap up. Now they've seen them all. Is that correct? And call me up if there's one in particular you want to see. Again, 12-piece suite that comes with the introduction page and the cover page, all hand-signed and numbered by Erte, matching suite. Such a treat. So thank you. I was excited to share that with you. It's still available. We have some people thinking about it. It sounds like we have a couple people on the phone, so call up if you're interested. Such a great piece. What else can I share with you tonight? Should we go back to the we'll go back to the Norman Rockwells. We've had a few requests to see the Rockwell loop tape again, all the images that we have left. I'll let you know which ones are sold. But when you guys are ready, take a look at this. Okay, great. We'll run back through the hand-signed and numbered Norman Rockwells we have again. Again, all those are custom framed. And if there's anything else you want to see, give us a call, talk to your operator, and we'll put it up for you. But take a look at this. This is the remaining Norman Rockwells we have available. Thank you. Okay, and this is the one that is sold. So catching the big one you're looking at, I'm sorry to say that one is going to be boxed up and shipped on its way soon. That one is sold. And again, just a friendly reminder, this one sold before we even went live tonight. If you are not registered with us, give us a call if you'd like to register. We'll get your name and information, your email and address, and you'll be notified before we go live on Wednesday nights with the art that we're going to be showcasing, and you'll get a chance to even purchase something before we go live. You can check out our website. You can see what we have available. Here's a great one, Yield Print Shop, Norman Rockwell. Still available. I'm surprised, but it's here. Let me know. I also just love to hear from our customers which one is your favorite, which piece is speaking to you. We're going to put up a few more pieces for you that you may not have seen. Thank you. Great idea. We're going to go to we'll come back to me. I'm going to show you my personal favorite of the night, and then we're going to go to one that is not included on the loop tape. Give me one moment as I try to find that amazing price for you on the piece I'm about to go to. Oh my gosh. Thanks. That's okay. It's live TV. Well, they're looking at the loop tape anyway. Okay. Thank you so much. So these are again, you're looking at some of the last remaining Norman Rockwells that we have for the night. So when you guys are ready, we just have a little bit of time left in the show. I want to end on a couple more of the Norman Rockwells and talk about them for just a moment. Camera 2. And thank you again for joining me. My name is Claire DeTusa. I am our resident art buyer and host here at Rare Collectibles. I'll be with you every Wednesday night, so stay tuned. We have some really exciting shows coming up. 1 week from tonight, if you are a fan of glass art, we have an incredible glassmaker, Wes Hunting, out of Wisconsin. He's been a glassmaker for decades, some unbelievable pieces, all one-of-a-kind original glass sculptures that are just beautiful. You may have seen a couple of the pieces right here behind me on the set is a little bit of a preview. Yes, and there's some more right there. I mean, just unbelievable pieces, bursting with color. Wes, who has been inspired by the great Italian glassmakers of Venice and Murano, has taken some of those techniques and truly made it his own. So we're going to be showcasing his work next week. But to wrap up the show tonight, I want to show you a couple more Rockwells. The one that's on the easel to the right of me being my personal favorite of the night, which I'm really surprised he hasn't sold. But again, what I love about this piece is it's just such a great example of his ability to tell a story in a single image. And it's not surprising that the original painting to the edition that we have sold right here. Here it is. It's Starstruck by Norman Rockwell. It was done in 1934. And the original oil on canvas, a small one at 22 by 20 inches, sold for $2,027,750. Look at that. It was estimated to sell between $800,000 and $1.2 million, sold for almost double that at over $2 million. Can you imagine to own an original Norman Rockwell? You gotta have about $1 million to do so. And here we have just one of my all-time favorite pieces. I hope you love it as much as I do. Hand-signed and numbered stone lithograph by Norman Rockwell, framed up and ready to be a part of your art collection. $1,495 is an incredible price. To own that signature signed in pencil right there for that price alone is worth it. Not only that, look at that, small edition size, number 47 of only 200. Such a great piece. Starstruck indeed is that young boy right there, looking at the faces that grace the magazine covers. There he is. For your consideration, that's Norman Rockwell's Starstruck. And then to the left of me, we're going to show the one piece that didn't make it to the loop tape, another great storytelling piece. This is Family Tree. Take a look at this one. This is a really interesting piece. The Lineage of America, starting with the stolen Spanish princess and the pirate. Controversial at the time, but Norman Rockwell decided this is what he wanted to to do. He wanted to show the story of America told through a family tree. It's a great idea. It's a great concept. There's his signature in pencil right there at the bottom. This one happens to be number 121 of again, small edition, only 200 in this edition total. And going up to that nuclear family at the very top with that little redheaded freckle boy. It's such a great piece. Look at that. You got the pirate at the bottom, the treasure chest. This was one of the covers, one of the 300 plus covers of the Saturday Evening Post that really made Norman Rockwell a household name. And again, he just loved the idea of having this all-American boy at the top descend from a pirate and his stolen Spanish princess. Friends of his tried to talk him out of it, thought maybe it was a little not lighthearted enough, and Norman Rockwell pushed the limits. Because again, he loved to just, you know, have a little social commentary in his pieces, a little bit of a political side. And there it is, family tree. That's right. And your price, $1,395 for very interesting pencil signed and numbered Norman Rockwell. And I believe we found the retail on this one, that discounted retail for $3,600. So always happy to beat those prices.
Is it also in that one? These are the bigger, next to the Indian maiden.
Oh. With the beard?
The mutton chops with the kind of sour-looking lady. That one that's on screen.
Oh. Is it? And that's Norman. I'm told. Is it? It is? Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to. And that is supposed to be Norman Rockwell himself, right there, with the long face. I love his quote about considering himself a string bean without the bean. That's one of my favorite Norman Rockwell quotes. He often poked fun at himself and tried not to take himself too seriously, though he became extremely famous and beloved.
2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. We have just 2 minutes left in the show. And again, I thank you for tuning in and sticking with us on our journey into the famous illustrator Norman Rockwell and father of Art Deco, Mr. Erte himself. A couple of just really fun, great collector names. Thank you so much. We have some phones ringing, camera 2. Let us know if there's something you'd like to see. We're counting down. And again, I hope you stay tuned next week. And if you're not already, check out our website. If you're not registered with us, if you'd like to get registered, I'll be giving away some free gifts again next week. So if you missed out tonight, you'll get another chance next week. We're going to have such a spectacular glass show. Very excited to introduce the artwork of Wes Hunting, such an incredible glassmaker, with you next week. So stay tuned for that. We've got some great coin shows coming up. Okay, we have a minute left in the show. Anything they'd like to see? Any requests out there? No? All right, let's go to Starstruck one more time, just because I'd love to look at it. This was my personal favorite Norman Rockwell of the night. This is Starstruck. We have, again, the piece behind me as a piece on loan. It's a piece that is sold to a happy customer. It's a permanent resident of the halls of Rare Collectibles. But it's just such a great Rockwell. We wanted to have it behind me on the set tonight. So yeah, that is correct. Your price for this one, $1,495. Oh, and thank you. There it is. Great piece just behind us, just to show off. Sometimes we like to use that back wall as as just a little tease of the night. Okay, thank you so much. We have just a few seconds left. So thank you for joining me. Check out our website if you haven't had a chance to, and I'll be back here next Wednesday night. Have a good night.